Welcome to Henderson County Public Schools Career Conversations. My name is Brandon Ball, and I'm one of the Career Development Coordinators for Henderson County Public Schools. And today we would like to welcome Michelle Tracz. She's the owner and managing member of Michelle Tracz CPA CFE LLC. Thank you for joining us today and to share some insight on your career and employability skills and today's workforce, and allowing us to record this interview in order to share it across our district.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so let's jump right on in. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your position, your career, all those kinds of things.
Great. Yeah, as you said, I am a CPA, which is a certified public accountant. I'm also a CFE, which is a certified fraud examiner, and I own an accounting and consulting firm here in the greater Western North Carolina area, and we service small to mid-sized businesses and not-for-profits of all sizes, doing really great work with these clients. We're the contract controller, contract consultant, if you will, helping our clients with everything from soup to nuts in accounting.
Okay, awesome, great. How did you go about choosing your career? Because you operate your own business and all those things, but how did you go about kind of choosing to get into accounting and what you do?
Great question, which is kind of an interesting one. Some people, wake up and they're like, yeah, I really want to be that, as a career. For me, it really, I really didn't know what accounting was or even was aware that it could be a career or a chosen job, if you will, until I got to college. And when I got to college, I went to a small liberal arts university up in Massachusetts, and they had an intro to accounting class. And I thought, sure, why not? I'll take that. So I figured, wow, I got this class and it was great and I really enjoyed it. I think it sort of clicks sometimes with some people when you learn something new and you think, oh yeah, this is great. So at that point, I was like, wow, this is accounting. I'm ready for this. But I was at this liberal arts university, and so they didn't exactly have an accounting major. So I majored actually in economics. And because the school that I was going to was part of a consortium of schools, I was fortunate enough to be able to take other accounting classes at some of the other schools in the consortium, as well as I took some accounting classes on the graduate level. And that was really sort of my first introduction to accounting and kind of what that meant and what it was, and that it could actually be a career was in the college area.
Okay, yeah, wow. Yes, I think, we find out what we want to do at all different times and stages in our lives, and that's a great story. You spoke a little bit about your education. Is there any other additional education or training background that you think someone that's interested in your career that they would require?
Yeah, I mean, if I were to go back today and say, okay, knowing what I know now, what would I advise people to think about maybe earlier on than college about the career in accounting? And I know that there are schools that do offer this at all different levels. You can take a personal finance class. So if your particular school offers a personal finance, maybe they even offer a business finance, getting any of those core basic business classes, and like I said, even a personal finance class would be really helpful. I think it really starts to introduce you to the concepts of accounting, which is a lot like what we do on a regular basis in our own personal lives. We have a checking account or a savings account, or we have a job and we have our money going into our account, and then we have bills we have to pay, and you budget every day and know what it is you make and what you can spend. And the same thing happens in businesses. And so, getting that information, understanding the concepts of saving and finance and how sort of business works early on as much as you possibly can is a great idea. So if you can do that at the high school level, great. If you can do that, maybe taking some community courses at a community college or anywhere, maybe some extracurricular activities, all those things just help to feed that and help you to grasp and understand what exactly is accounting and finance.
Okay, great. So walk us through what a typical day in your life looks like.
All right, well, I won't bore you with a typical day, but no. So, in what we do, which honestly, when people think about accounting or being a CPA, a lot of times we think about either tax preparation or audit. I think that's sort of the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of people. What's interesting is that in our firm, we don't do either of those things. So we're not doing income tax returns and we're not doing audits for our clients. What we do is we are part of the team of our clients. So we have a small business that will come to us and say, I need help setting up my accounting system, or maybe I need help understanding what my accounting reports are trying to tell me about my business. Should I grow it? Should I contract? Should I add more people? Should I add more inventory? You know, so helping them understand what is happening in their business. And that is really what I love most about it. It's being a part of their team. It's about the variety. It's the different issues that different clients bring to us that we're able to help with. That it's not just the tax preparation or audit piece. That accounting is really, as a career, much broader than that. There's so many things that you can do. You can work in public accounting like I do for small businesses or not-for-profits. You can even work in private accounting for businesses, helping them in all sorts of ways they need help.
Well, I can definitely relate to you in that as far as helping people. But through all these interviews, what I've realized is there's so many different careers that we can choose to help others, So that's great that you mentioned that as your most favorite thing. What challenges have you faced in your particular career?
So my chosen career, really, the first challenge out of the gate is truly for me personally, was trying to break into the accounting world because I was an economics major. And then I had to sort of tell people that I was very much interested in accounting and to take a chance on me, truly. In addition, I was trying to sit for the, to get your CPA, you have to sit for the CPA exam. So that's kind of a hurdle. It's something that if you want to become a CPA, you definitely have to take the exam. And I do encourage folks to certainly try that. But it's not the only thing. It's not the only avenue in terms of accounting or finance or working for accounting purposes. So that was probably the first challenge I faced. And then certainly starting my own business every day. When you own your own business, every day is like a new challenge. But it's good. I like that. I think it keeps you on your toes, and then helping clients, they come with all sorts of questions and challenges that they're having, and just being able to sit down and work with them and help them through those issues. I would say those are probably challenges, but also super rewarding when you get to the end result, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. So in looking at this, what other characteristics, just as a person that might be interested in this career field, what do you think are some of the most important characteristics that someone needs to be successful?
I think, when I think about a good accountant, someone that, would be successful in a career in accounting, the first thing that kind of comes to mind is sort of detail oriented. I think you have sort of two different types of people. There are people who can really see things sort of top line, they definitely can see the big picture, so to speak. And then there's people who enjoy and are able to really see the details and focus in on the bottom line and on every little piece of it. I think this is one of those careers that being very detail oriented is a huge opportunity. And if you have that skill, accounting will play really well into that. And I think also because in accounting, being integrity driven. So in accounting, we're responsible, really, we're the backbone of any organization or business. And so making sure that we can see and point out all the details, we've got all those bases covered. We know exactly where the data is pulling from and what it's telling us, but also that we can produce those results with integrity, that we can share that information with those owners or those executive directors or the boards with integrity. So those would be two, I think, key characteristics.
Okay. Do you think that those characteristics are those are things that kids can like work on to develop over time, or people can?
I definitely think you can develop them over time. I think that, understanding, especially from the integrity side, what I found really helpful too is taking some of those psychology classes, whether, again, if they're offered at the community college level or even the high school level or at your chosen college that you might attend as a student, taking a business law, they have business ethics, those psychology type classes, those will really help you hone in on those skills. And I found them frankly fascinating, which was what prompted me to become a CFE. I think it's always interesting to see the psychology behind someone who does perform frauds for whatever reason. But yes, also the detail orientation. You'll know too if you have an aptitude for that, but it's also a skill that you can certainly learn. And you'll also learn it from your teachers, from your professors. In your math class, when you did the math problem, you're like, you got the right end result, but I don't think you got there correctly. Let's look at the steps you took and the details, and that will clue you in as well.
Yeah, most definitely. So would there be any other advice on how to prepare, say if you're speaking to like a middle school or high school student, would there be any other advice that you say that they could do to prepare for entering this career field? Anything else you'd like to add?
Like I said before, I think taking a personal finance class or any sort of, if they have a business class that you might be interested in. I've even know that some high schools will even offer accounting classes. Those will help, as I mentioned before. But certainly, math classes are helpful. Some of the math curriculum will lead you into some business type exercises. So those are always good. But I would seek out, mentors. Maybe there's internships. Maybe you can work helping out in an accounting firm or something, seeking out those folks that can help guide you and mentor you would be really helpful also.
Okay, great. What skills do you think are most important, one or a couple skills that you think most are important to be successful in any career that someone needs?
Yes. I personally think if you are a self-starter, if you can go out and make that impact, be a self-starter, go up and say, what can I do to help? Can I learn something? Can I help you? That'll be huge. So being a self-starter and coupled with that, being highly motivated. So if you can have those skills, regardless of what career field you have chosen, those will help you go a really long way, and even just being energetic. I think that, when I work with folks and especially young people, if they display those skills, those are the folks that really I see rise very quickly. And that, you feel good about. You want to keep on your team, you want to help, you want to foster them, you want to bring them along. I think those, and then the last piece I'll mention, I think that's really helpful, regardless of what career you choose, excellent communication skills. Communication is so key, and I think we forget that. We're so into text messages or the short variety without really knowing that there is so much we will need to do in terms of communication, even in an email, making sure you use the right words, making sure that you are explaining things clearly, in reports that you might write, letters or cards. These are things that still hold a tremendous amount of value in the business world, and so with any career that you have, I think honing your excellent communication skills would be key as well.
Okay, great. That's great advice for anybody in any career, because those just essential skills, they can take you very far, in any career. That's great advice. So, Ms. Tracz, on behalf of Henderson County Public Schools and Career and Technical Education Department, I would love to thank you again for taking the time to share your career advice and about your own career journey today. But thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I wish all of the students much, much success in their chosen careers.